Hi, and you're now with the Forerunner Chronicles. All right, everybody, I have a question for you. How important is entertainment in your personal life? Now, the reason why I ask you this particular question is because over the course of the last few months, I've received this very same question from thousands of individuals all throughout the world. And I'm talking about thousands of text messages and emails, even phone calls in the very middle of the night. It's obvious to me. People are truly concerned about what role of importance entertainment should play within their personal lives as well as in the lives of their family members. And they want to know whether or not entertainment should hold any role of significance whatsoever within their households. When we look out into society, and I'm not just speaking of here within the United States of America, I'm talking about worldwide. It can be seen clearly that the younger generation, the great majority, are devoting an overwhelming amount of time and attention to being engrossed within some form of entertainment. And this whole phenomena of being wrapped up in entertainment, it's not solely isolated to the younger generation. Let's be honest, everyone. The older generation as well have been overtaken with this craze of entertainment. The love of entertainment, the very presence of entertainment. It is pervading every aspect of our society, and especially can we see this within our inner cities. And now, with the technological explosion that is taking place, giving us devices like iPads and iPods, laptop computers, and smartphones, which pretty much have the same capabilities that our laptops have. We now have readily at our disposal gadgets that we can wear on our wrists, place within our pockets, or ladies, you can just drop them right inside of your handbags, and we can pull them out in almost any given situation and almost at any given point of time to satisfy our addiction with entertainment. Now tell me, is there a problem with this? And if there is a problem, why is this a problem? Well, to get to the heart of this issue and to get a very real-time perspective of it, I decided to go out into the public and speak with everyone that I came in contact with. And that's exactly what I did. And I asked each person 2 questions. Question number 1 was about entertainment, of course. And then question number 2 was dealing with one of the greatest moral standards that are within existence. And then to make the scenario that much more interesting for those people that I was conversing with, I offered to give any person that was able to get my 2 questions correct all of the money that I had in my pocket at that time. And the outcome was astounding. I was shocked at the things that I heard. But that's just my personal opinion. Now I invite you to take a look and see for yourself. We're asking everybody in public 2 questions. You get the questions right, I give you all the money in my pocket.
All right, I'll give it a shot.
I like him. Okay, question number 1. You know who Gucci Man is?
Yeah.
All right, Gucci Man just got a new tattoo. Where is it and what is it?
Ice cream cone on his right cheek.
Ice cream cone on his cheek with lightning coming out.
It's right here. It's an ice cream cone.
On his face, and it's an ice cream cone.
Ice cream cone on his face.
It's up on his right. Right on the left side, it's ice cream cone.
It's on his face. It's an ice cream cone.
The ice cream on his face, and it says "Burr."
Ice cream on his face.
It's on his face, the ice cream cone.
It's an ice cream cone with 3 ice cream scoops.
Oh,
And it says burr.
It's an ice cream cone on his face.
Ice cream cone on his cheek.
Right cheek and ice cream cone with 3 scoops.
On his face is an ice cream cone.
It's on his face. It's an ice cream cone that says burr.
On his face, it's ice cream.
Say it again.
On his face, it's ice cream.
Okay, you
Give
got
me the
you got to get one more question right. Oprah Winfrey, she started her new season this year, and she said she was going to take everybody in her audience to a particular place in the world. Where is she going to take them?
Australia. Australia, was it? Australia.
You got it right. Okay. Now, question number 2. Do you guys, let's see, I got to get it hard. Okay, you believe in the 10 Commandments?
Yes.
10 Commandments?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me, what is the 4th commandment of the 10 Commandments? You get that right, I give you all the money.
I can name about 3 on.
That's it. I don't even know that one. I give you 5 more seconds.
Is it?
I give you 10 seconds.
I answered the first
I give you 10 seconds.
one. Definitely.
1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 8,000, 9,000. Jesus is coming. 1,000, 10, 1,000.
Ooh. You mean in the Constitution?
I don't know.
Remember the Sabbath. Remember the Sabbath.
It's remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. The 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
Keep the Sabbath day holy.
That's it.
It's the 4th commandment.
Yes, sir.
I wonder why they don't keep it holy.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have now seen and heard it for yourself. It's an unfortunate situation, but it seems that people have a greater knowledge of unessential information, like where in the world Oprah Winfrey is going to take her audience on vacation with her, or what the latest tattoo is that their favorite entertainer has received in their face, for that matter. It seems that people have a greater knowledge of this type of trivial information than they do about God's holy 10 Commandments. I praise God that I was able to share with the majority of the people that I came in contact with truth-filled literature and DVDs so that they could go home and then learn the truth and share the truth with their family members and their friends, because this is the information that all of us need to be knowledgeable of, especially in these last days in which we are now living. And by the way, just in case you were wondering, this wasn't a group of atheists that I was asking these questions to. I spoke with over 200 people, and out of this large number, only about 10 people told me that they didn't believe in God, neither his 10 Commandments. But the greater majority, professed to me that they believed in God, they were Christians, and that they believed in keeping all of God's 10 Commandments. And these poor souls, they could give me more information about entertainment trivia than they could about the law of the Lord whom they professed to serve. Now, I know that sounds like a hard statement, but like I said to you earlier, you have now seen and heard it for yourself. This is the harsh reality that is now plaguing our society, and this whole situation hasn't been developed by happenstance. This situation has been developed and set in place by design, and it has been designed by the engineer, who is the enemy of all humanity. You see, the devil well knows that if he can keep our minds entranced with entertainment, or any other device for that matter, that will pin up our time and attention, he can use this as a means to divert us from obtaining the preparation that we all so greatly need to be able to face the crisis which is right before us. And if you don't know what crisis I'm speaking of, please pay close attention, because this is extremely important. The Bible tells us in the book of Revelation, chapter 7 and verse 1, "And after these things I saw 4 angels standing at the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, so that the winds would not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice unto the four angels, unto whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. Ladies and gentlemen, as you are watching this program, God has set as sentinels 4 angels at the 4 corners of planet Earth, and their mission is to hold back the winds. We are told within the book of Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 27 that these winds are symbolic of destruction. These angels are holding back destruction from touching down on planet Earth, bringing calamity to the entire human race. But they will only hold this position of great authority, which God himself has commissioned unto them, for a probationary period of time. And we know this for a certainty, because the Bible clearly tells us in Revelation chapter 7 and verse 3, that the angel that ascended from the east, which had within its possession the seal of the living God, he cried unto the other 4 angels, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. This lets us know that when the seal of the living God is placed within the foreheads of the servants of God, then and only then will God allow the angels to let the winds loose, and destruction will follow. Don't you see how important it is that all of us know exactly what this seal of the living God is? Because only those that receive this seal within their foreheads will be protected when calamity comes upon our world. The Bible tells us that this seal of the living God must be placed within the foreheads of his servants. This is highly symbolic. You see, within the forehead is the frontal lobe of the brain. Within the frontal lobe is where the reasoning and the judgment processes take place. Within the frontal lobe is where character formation takes place. God is seeking to seal something important up within the character of his servants before he can safely allow destruction to come upon this world. Don't you want to know what God wants to seal within your character? Well, the Bible will give us all the answers. We are told within the book of Isaiah, chapter 8 and verse 16, bind up the testimony, seal the law amongst my disciples. God desires to seal his law within the hearts, within the minds, within the characters of his servants. You see, many people profess that they are servants of God. Many people profess to be Christians, and as you saw earlier, many people profess that they believe in God's commandments. But how many people actually have God's law sealed within their characters? God knows that if he can seal his law within the character of human beings, a radical transformation will take place within their lives. That's exactly what the Bible teaches in the book of Psalms chapter 19 and verse 7. We are told there, the law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. When the law of God can be placed within our characters, it will convert us into a new type of creature, a new type of human being. What type of human being is this? The Bible will let us know in the book of Psalms chapter 119, verse 142. We are told there, thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. When God can seal his law within our characters, we will become converted, transformed into human beings of truth. People that will speak the truth. People that will be kind, loving, and just. We will be creatures of truth when God can seal his law within our characters. And don't you want to be this type of creature? See, the Bible tells us in Psalms chapter 40 and verse 8, I delight to do thy will, O my God, yea, thy law is within mine heart. See, God knows that if he can place his law within our characters, we will find delight in him and not in entertainment, not in the music of this world, not in the fashions of this world. We will find our delight in serving God and in being obedient, in being creatures of truth. And when this type of radical transformation can take place within our lives, we will be just like Jesus Christ himself. Because the Bible tells us in the book of John, chapter 14 and verse 6, and Jesus saith unto them, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. When God can place his law of truth within our character, we will be converted into creatures of truth, meaning we will be just like Jesus, who is the very embodiment of truth itself. Awesome, isn't it? And God is looking for human beings that he can make just like Jesus before he will allow the winds of destruction to be let loose on planet Earth. But you might be out there saying to me right now, well, nobody can keep God's law because the Bible tells us in the book of Romans chapter 7 and verse 14, for we know that the law is spiritual and I am carnal, sold under sin. Doesn't the Bible teach us in the book of Romans chapter 8, starting at verse 7, for the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can it be? Yes, my friend, you're right. It is impossible for the carnal man to keep God's spiritual law holy in his own strength. That is why we need the power of the living God. Remember, it's called the seal of the living God. Question: who is the living God? As you know, the Bible has the answer. In the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10 and verse 10, we are told, the Lord, he is the true God. He is the living God and eternal King. At his wrath the earth shall tremble, and the nation shall not be able to abide his indignation. Thus shall ye say unto them, the gods that have not made the heavens and the earth, even they shall perish from the earth and from under these heavens. For he hath made the earth by his power. He hath established the world by his wisdom, and he hath stretched out the heavens by his discretion. The God that created the heavens and the earth and all that in them is, according to Jeremiah 10 and verse 10, he is the living God, the God that is the creator of all things. Well, who is this creator of all things that is the living God? The Bible gives us more answers in the book of John, chapter 1, starting at verse 1, which says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. The Word is the creator of all things that are in heaven, that are in earth. The Word is the living God. The Bible tells us more about this Word in the book of John, chapter 1 and verse 14, which says, and the Word was made flesh, and dwelt among us. And we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. The Word, the creator of the heavens and earth, is the one who came and was made flesh and revealed to humanity the very glory of God. This Word is Jesus Christ himself. Jesus is the true and living God, the creator of all things. Did you know that the Bible also gives Jesus, the living God, another title? In the book of Mark, chapter 2, verses 27 and 28, we are told from the mouth of Jesus himself, the Sabbath was made for man, and not man for the Sabbath. Therefore, the Son of Man is Lord also of the Sabbath. Jesus Christ, who is the living God, also is called the Lord of Sabbath. The same Sabbath day which is spoken of in the book of Exodus chapter 20 and verse 8, which tells us, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thine gates. For in 6 days the Lord made the heaven and the earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. As we look closely at this commandment, it becomes very obvious that the Lord of Sabbath is also the true and living God. For it is the Lord of Sabbath that created the heaven and the earth, the sea, and all that in them is. And as you place your faith in this awesome creative power that is yielded by the Lord of Sabbath, the true and living God, Jesus Christ himself, you will receive power to obey all of God's 10 commandments. We are told in the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verses 28 and 29. Hast thou not known? Hast thou not heard that the eternal God, the Lord, the creator of the ends of the earth, he fainteth not, neither is weary. He giveth power to the faint, and to them that are without might, he increaseth strength. My friend, have you ever felt as though you wanted to give life up? You couldn't go one more day. Have you ever felt like you were going to faint under the great weight of the burden and guilt of sin? I'm here to tell you right now, don't give up. Don't let the enemy discourage you. Turn your eyes by faith to the true and living God, Jesus Christ, because he wants to give you power. He wants to strengthen you so you can have a life of peace, a life of joy, a life of happiness, a life of obedience, fulfilling all of the righteous requirements of his law. This is why Jesus Christ came and took upon himself sinful human flesh. This is why Jesus died and rose again to gain the victory over death and sin for you. This is why Jesus ever liveth, to make intercession for us so that we can have the power of his righteousness. The Bible tells us in the book of Romans, chapter 8 and verse 3, for what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh, God sending his Son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin condemned sin in the flesh, that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. I'm so glad that none of us have to try and live this life in our own strength. The true and living God not only has power to create, the true and living God has power to recreate us into his holy image. And this is why the fourth commandment, which is the Sabbath commandment, stands out above all of the other 10 commandments as the seal of the living God. For it is the only commandment that identifies who the God of the 10 commandments is. And that God is the true and living God. Did you know that God gave us the Sabbath commandment as a perpetual reminder that it is only by his creative power that we can live lives of holiness? The Bible tells us in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 20 and verse 12, moreover also, I gave them my Sabbaths to be a sign between me and them, that they might know that I am the Lord that doth sanctify them. The true and living God, the Lord of Sabbath, Jesus Christ, is our only hope of holiness. He is our only hope of obedience to the law of God, and it is by his strength that we can receive the seal of the living God in our characters. And ladies and gentlemen, we need to have this experience. Very shortly from now, the four winds will be let loose. Destruction will come upon planet Earth, but God has made a way for us to be sealed up so that our salvation can never be stripped from us. He wants us to receive his power into our lives today. I want to encourage you, please set aside the entertainment, set aside the internet, set aside the gadgets. Spend more time with Jesus. Don't let the enemy distract you from gaining the experience that will make you a recipient of the seal of the living God, because God is looking to seal you. As always, this is the Forerunner, and whether you like it or not, the truth is the truth.